Yeah, morning to you. Both of them do make up the John Lewis partnership, but it is almost like they are two different businesses. A loss of £35 million, that's for the department store bit, but at the same time a profit of £100 million for the supermarket, for Waitrose. So what's going on? Let's speak to the retail expert, Kate Hardcastle, who's with me. Kate, morning to you.
Hi.
Interesting this, isn't it? Because, look, it's sort of like Marks and Spencer, isn't it? We're willing to go in and buy food, maybe not buying clothing and other stuff. That's really why there's this divide.
And there's so much going on, and retail is certainly not for the faint-hearted right now. This is a tough business to be in. Consumers want more, and you're making less money, and they're expecting retail theatre on the floors. They want the stores to be exciting and innovative, and we know John Lewis generally tends to be a bit more of a vanilla, safer offer. They want products moving all of the time, fresh things to look at, and it's also, we're buying less stuff, you know, we're buying less material things.
And all the things you talk about there cost money, don't they? I mean, those overheads just to have the store, they're big stores on big, expensive high streets, you know, so they're paying all that cost before they've even sold anything.
This is true, and they're huge general stores as well, but we also know they've been looking at fashion, for instance, and bringing in a lot of own brand. Well, I would say that was category A mistake Marks and Spencer's are making at the moment. People have got so much choice, so much competition out there. Do they want a lot of brands they don't really know very much about, or do they want to be wearing the latest, the best, when it actually comes to their fashion choices? What
does it tell us about our shopping habits, that idea that we're still willing to pay a premium for food, because, look, Waitrose is by no means the cheapest food retailer out there, and yet at the same time not prepared to, you know, fork out for clothing and electronics and that sort of thing? You know, where are our priorities as shoppers?
We're very changeable as shoppers, and you can't look at a set of demographics or data anymore and say that applies to all. People will go out and treat themselves to some food for a pick-me-up or have a nice event at home instead of a meal out, perhaps, and see that as a cost saving. And so they're going to reach to a luxury brand like Waitrose for exactly that. Plus, Waitrose have been having a big push because they know Marks and Spencer's are going to come into the online food shopping market too.
Yeah, and in this statement there's a lot to read, and there's a statement from Charlie Mayfield, who is the chairman of the John Lewis Partnership, and he says, should the UK leave the EU without a deal, we expect the effect to be significant and will not be possible to mitigate the impact. And that's quite significant, isn't it, from the boss of one of our biggest retailers, and it really does highlight the supply chain issue that they're also worried about.
And it's true, it's taking their eye off the ball at a time where they absolutely need to be all focused on strategy and delivering for customers, and this is a really big challenge for most businesses out there. They need to know how they can move faster, not slower, and what they're looking at is a situation that's going to create delays.
Yeah, and these firms, because they can order one day and have that stuff the day after, and it's worth mentioning at this point as well, Morrison's, the supermarket, their figures out this morning. They've been talking about improving relations with Amazon, so, you know, having an online presence. But they really do sell themselves as a fresh retailer. What are they going to do?
Fresh is so important to Morrison's. It's all about those pickups from bakery, and they need to make sure they're moving faster. Amazon partnerships suggest that. They're on this fix and rebuild strategy at the moment. They're starting to get some traction, but something like a very challenging deal proposition through the Brexit process could cause them more delays and actually make them less of an opportunity with other competition.
Yeah, it's interesting, just looking at the figures, I mean, sales falling, but actually profits up pretty significantly, so that turnaround plan seems to be working.
And it's all about getting the best value to the customers. Customer, in terms of their choices now, is huge, and they're using those choices wisely.
Kate, as always, lovely to see you. Thanks for talking us through all of that. Kate Hardcastle there with her eye on the retail figures.